All right, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining. I'm not going to be doing a reading right this second, just a little talk. Some things I was thinking about that I wanted to share. I typically don't like to talk about my private time, my time of meditation and prayer and all that type of thing. I didn't come from a tradition of meditating. I came from a tradition of praying. Okay. Pray. Okay. And I don't, believe in this thing about when people say praying is begging. Meditation can be that too, depending on what your intention is behind it, your purpose in meditating. Why are you doing it? It's the intention. So I don't like to talk about that publicly. I don't like praying in public. I remember I was in a play at one of the theaters here, and they used to gather together to pray before they would rehearsal. And I got in a circle like once. Did I? I might not have. I think I did it once, and it's just like I don't like getting in them circles, praying and all of that kind of thing, especially with people I don't know. And I could be kind of what people may look at as kind of rebellious, because it's like I'm not going to participate in those things just for the sake of participation or for a look or for play. Because a lot of times it's play. People have different belief systems, different thoughts, different intentions. You don't know who these people are. You don't know it's just a lot of shit you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And the tradition that I came from a very old tradition. Okay, I've talked about it on here. Okay, grew up Pentecostal. The church I was born in, I guess you could say, was my great-grandfather's church. It's the first church of that denomination in the state of Ohio, Church of God in Christ. And so it was very old. Very, very old. And this is the way I was taught. And I went to Christian schools, Protestant Christian. I went to Catholic school. Catholicism is Christianity, okay? And I've said this before, historically, it's probably more Christian than Protestantism, but maybe I'll get into that stuff later on. I did do a religious studies series on here when I first started this channel, and I'll probably do it again. I know I'm going to do it again, but nevertheless, so very old tradition. And the schools I went to, the Protestant Christian schools I went to, same thing. We taught the same things along those lines. Okay, so I'm going to do some reading right now. Now, of course, growing up in church, we would pray together because it's a thing of, I went to a small church, and I went to my grandmother's church back then. It wasn't considered small. Now, compared to these mega churches and stuff, it would be considered small, but it wasn't. But I'm going to read this real quick. The parable of the Pharisee and the publican. It's in Luke chapter 18, verses 9 through 14. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. Okay. It was a parable. This is talking about Jesus, or what people say, oh, no, Jay. Oh, well, okay. Yeshua. Okay. He spoke this parable. Okay, a story unto certain people who they trusted in themselves. Okay, but what did they trust in themselves? That they were righteous and despised others, righteous people. Okay, they believed that they were self-righteous. Okay, and despised others, believing that they were above other people. Okay. And this was the parable. 2 men went up into the temple to pray. Okay. The one a Pharisee and the other a publican, which is a tax collector. Okay. And tax collectors, of course, at that time were pretty much despised, which you could probably say that they still are. Okay. Pharisee would be, I'm going to show you real quick. Who's a Pharisee? What is a Pharisee? Okay. For those who may not know, you may know about the Sadducees and Pharisees, but who were these Pharisees? Hold on. For those that choose to stay. Thank you. I'm going too far back. Let me look in the back so I can find it real quick. Looking at my textbook when I used to teach religious studies. And the reason I'm doing this, wait a minute, 312. There it is. Okay. A Pharisee, we're talking about, okay, out of the scriptures. This is the New Testament. This was a time when the Hebrew people, okay, were under Greco-Roman rule. Okay. Hebrew people, when you do the studies, you find that they were a nation of people, but they were a very small nation, not some huge, big nation of people, a small nation, okay, a small group of people. They were under rule, the Greco-Roman Empire. Maybe you could look at it like Black people in America, okay, under another culture, political, okay, rulership. Okay. But who are the Pharisees? The Pharisees were Hebrews. Okay. Their focus was on preserving Hebrew piety, piousness, okay, through careful observation of religious laws and traditions. Okay. So they went by the law. Okay. This is the self-righteousness that we're talking about. I don't follow all, or I don't know if necessarily dogma, but yeah, kind of dogma. I don't follow all the rules and the regulations. In other words, meaning, okay, I am better than, more righteous than those who did not follow the law, who did not observe the laws. Okay, this was one of the issues and the problems that this community, who Jesus was a part of, or Yeshua was a part of, they had with him. He was not always observing the law to the letter. Okay. The statement, I believe, was made where he said, that in other words, okay, the law was made for you, not you for the law, not you to be subject to it. Okay. This was a Pharisee. Back to the story. 2 men were in the temple to pray. One a Pharisee, the self-righteous, pious, I obey all the laws, but may have an evil heart. God looks on the outward appearance. Man looks on the outward appearance. God looks on the heart, the outward appearance. Now we can take some of these things here that's being said, okay, and put it to today. What's eternal is eternal. What's truth is truth. I obey all the laws. I look the part. I talk the part. It may even appear as though I walk the part. So that I'm so righteous and above others. This is what's being said, okay? Now, if you have a problem, okay, with following first person, second person, third person, fourth person, then this is not for you. You can leave. Now I'm vaping because I smoke. I am not a heavy smoker, but I do. And I said, let me try this. A friend of mine suggested this to me. I think I tried this years ago. I was like, well, I didn't like it. But she told me about this particular brand. It's called Peach Mango. It's this flavor is the Peach Mango. I rather like it. Okay, but anyway, let's get back to this. Okay, and the other a publican, the tax collector. Now, who was despised? A sinner, not looked on favorably, a person who was part of the system. Okay, to control people, to keep people down, to keep them oppressed, taking their money. This is what we have today. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself. Hear the prayer. Listen as I read the story. What did the Pharisee say? God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this tax collector over here, this publican. Okay, this no good, this sinner. Here I am, this Pharisee. I obey all the rules. I look the part, blah, blah, blah. Supposedly obeys all the rules. Usually people who say that shit and act like they don't, they cover up. Okay, they're the things that they do, the truth of who they really are. It's for show, in other words. Okay. He goes on to say, I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. So this was his prayer. Thank you, God, that I'm not like these motherfuckers, these low-life motherfuckers who ain't no good, the extortioners, the prostitutes, the sex workers, okay, the pimps, the drunkards, you understand what I'm saying, the liars, the manipulators, so on and so forth, the bullies, etc., etc. Here I am, I obey all the rules. I fast twice a week. I'm all this, that, and more. I obey all the laws and I pay my tithes. I do all of that. I obey all the laws. Let's continue on with the story. And the publican, the tax collector here, okay, who was despised, looked down upon. He's part of the system to keep the people oppressed. The publican standing afar off would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, wouldn't even look up to heaven, but smote upon his breast. Smote, I think what verse is that? 13, beat. Okay, smote upon his breast. Okay, basically that would be a sign of showing that he's lowly and unworthy. Okay, and I guess you could say his flesh. Okay, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Saying, God be merciful unto me, a sinner. He recognized his flesh, okay, him being in his human self, okay, was not worthy to even look up to the heavens, to God, while he prayed. Have mercy on me, he said. Be merciful to me, recognizing that, I'm a sinner. Okay. No matter, he hasn't gone into who he is, what he's done. I mean, he might help the sick. Okay, give to the poor, help the fatherless, which was the Great Commission here of Yeshua. To love. Be a vessel of love to your fellow, man, woman, etc. Here. Be the animals, nature, the trees, the lakes, the land. Love. He may have done all of that. Being a publican, a tax collector, it had just been a job. I need a job. And he's being taxed too. He's being oppressed too. Here we have this in our society today, in our world today. Let me go on. What did Yeshua say? I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. Who went down to their house justified? The publican, for recognizing his truth. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Okay. What was the other one? The other scripture I was going to go to. I'll tell you, this one went down to this house just fine, rather than the other one. Okay, just a second. Let me find it. Romans 12:3. I believe that's it. For I say unto you, through the grace given unto me, to every man, this is another scripture, for every man that is among you not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, okay, but to think soberly according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. We're not looking at these scriptures here from this point of a place of oppression. Okay. That you ain't shit, that you're not, that's not the point here. You know, when you think that you are above, okay, not to think of himself more highly than he ought. If then there's no place for learning, there's no place for growth. And even in the flesh, okay, I'm looking at this book over here I'm looking at the yin yang symbol, which I did a talk on that, what was that, last week? Okay. The learning is infinite. Learning self is infinite, because as you are faced with new things, you learn more about yourself. If you only stay in your box and do not are not faced with new. What's new? Hell, shit, I don't know. You know, you can live on. It's simple. It can be very simple things. You live on one side of town and never travel to the other side of town and see the things over there that are different. That would be new to you. You go over there and you see something different than what you know day in, day out, 24/7, however many years, and you go and you see something different. It is new to you, and you may find, well, I like it over here. I like the way this looks. I like the kind of food they have over here, the music. It's different than where I am. And you would have never known that aspect of yourself had you not traveled to the new, or have been faced with something new, something different, new thoughts, new philosophies. And I just simply mean new to you, because you have not yet explored it. You may not have even known that it existed. And a lot of times you would not know the existence of other things if you just stay in one state of mind and only focus on what you already know. And in the what you already know, you believe to be so high and so great and so mighty. You have not given, then there's nothing else for you to know. There's nothing else for you to learn. And you will not that's not allowing yourself to grow. Learning is infinite. It is non-fucking stop. There's so much to learn. There's so much to know, even with those things that may be in front of you. Sometimes you've been looking at something all your life, and then one day you wake up and see something different that you never saw before. Okay. But when you are haughty, you close yourself off from that process of life and living. Now, the only reason I talked about that is because I was saying I don't typically the way I was taught growing up, share those private times with myself, my private prayer, meditation, so on and so forth. What I do, how I do, when I do, that's private. I'm not going to get on. Now, this is me. This is not what I'm about to say, commentary on anyone else. Okay. I'm not going to get on here and share that. Okay. And for those who do, that's fine. I'm talking about myself. Okay. However, I have not really read, I haven't done a lot of reading in a long time the way I used to. A little bit here, a little bit there, but not like I used to. But I came across a scripture this morning during that time, okay? It wasn't anything I was looking for, just kind of open, let myself be guided to something. What shall I read today? What do I need to know? And I came across this verse in Genesis chapter 40, verse 8. And here, I'm about to read it. And they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you. Now, this is, of course, the story of Joseph, okay, whose brothers did him wrong, okay, tried to kill him, wanted to kill him, etc., very jealous of him and his relationship with his father. Anyway, he was sold to the Egyptians and was a prisoner. And he was an interpreter of dreams. He was a dreamer. He would have dreams and he would interpret dreams. So here he is in this prison, and it was the butler, I believe, and the cook who were having these dreams. Yeah, the chief butler and the cook. Now, he was talking to the chief butler who had a dream, and the butler couldn't interpret the dream. So here's Joseph saying, and they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you. Okay. Because he could interpret, he had the gift of interpreting dreams. And I just thought it was interesting. I said, okay, what am I supposed to know about this? What did he say? We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. Okay. I believe this ties in together, because this is what I was guided to today. When people, you can ask for something, and you can want something, and you can desire something. Okay. But a lot of times you think that what you want and desire, you're looking for it to come a particular way, definitely with ease. Now, the fact that Joseph could interpret dreams is what got him up out of this situation, out of him being a prisoner, this gift that he had. The fact that he could interpret them and got him a place on high, I guess you could say, second under Pharaoh. And here he was, a foreigner. Okay. So it's kind of like when people say, be careful what you ask for, or you just might get it. Okay. Which sometimes I would think that's so silly for people to say that. Okay. Sometimes I understood it. I mean, I always understood it, but I always kind of felt like if you want something, is it better to ask? Is it better to not ask for it, because you got to be careful what you just might get? I kind of get, in other words, just be prepared. Because sometimes what you ask for or what you desire and want, it does not come. Sometimes it may come easy, okay, and sometimes not. Okay, I would definitely feel like maybe not for people who are for whatever reason, you are to be challenged. Okay? That your life will be challenging. You will have a challenging situations and things happen to you, and it's not always a matter of a person doing something wrong. Hold on for a second. Okay. A person doing something wrong and it's karma and all of that kind of stuff. No, that life, we're going to have ups and downs in life. Okay. I'm hot, but I'm cold this morning, so I got my blanket on. It's chilly today, okay? And I'm not turning on the heat because tomorrow, who knows, it might be 80 degrees or some shit like that because we're in that time, okay? But it may be challenging, okay, for you. Expect to be challenged, okay? Because being challenged here is where the growth comes from. So as you're on your little path here. I shouldn't say little, I'm not putting it down, but you're on your path and there are things that you want or places that you're supposed to be, or a person that that you're supposed to be, this, that, and the other, and I want this and I want that and I wish this and I wish that. It's like, okay. Sometimes, you will be given, God will give you the desires of your heart. But there is work that you have to do. Okay. Have the faith. But the faith without works is dead. It's just a desire, just a want, just I believe. But you still have to do some work. It may not be a lot of work, might be a lot of work, okay, but work nonetheless. If you don't want to put in the work, the necessary work, scratch the desire. Okay, especially depending on how big it is, or especially depending on, what it is that you are aligned to do. Because a lot of times the things that, I ain't gonna say all the time, okay, but sometimes the things that a person desires, and I ain't gonna say everybody. Some people be desiring shit that ain't for you. It's just simply not for you. Okay. And you'll know that in your heart. Okay. If you a person that ain't gonna put in no work and no time and no effort, and you ain't never did it, some things you desire, why are you desiring that? You're not going to put you can be I don't know, 500 pounds, some shit like that, 300 pounds, something like that, but you desire to be a smaller person, but you don't want to put in the work necessary. Just a simple example, but it still applies nonetheless. You don't want to put in the work, the necessary work to get the weight off, to be that smaller person. If you're not going to put in the work, okay, then scratch the desires, plain and simple, and live with who you are, how you are. Even energetically so. You don't need to be looking at somebody else and desiring who they are and what they have. First of all, desire who you are and what you have. But I don't need you looking at them if you're not going to put the work that person put in to be who they are. Not to become who they are, but to who they already are. If a person has put in work to be, you see them, lighten them, or they're shining, or their status, and so on and so forth, don't seek to have it, or what's the word I'm looking for? It'll come to me. Okay, I can't think of the word right now. But don't seek to have it if you're not willing to do the work that the person did to be what you see. Okay? That person put some work in. Whatever the work is. Don't allow yourself to be silly-minded to think, oh, they're just lucky. Okay. Really, you shouldn't be focusing on them at all. All right. And maybe there are some people who there are some things that they did get just by, some kind of favor, some kind of universal favor or luck or whatever. I don't know. Okay. Maybe some past life shit they did, past life, karma, they was, who knows what they were in their past life. Maybe they did some good works in here. You are being blessed with this. Okay. But once again, you got to put in the work. Okay. So I dreamed a dream. Okay. I dreamed a dream. Couple things. I dreamed, and there's no interpreter of it. A couple things. First thing, you got a dream. Don't expect anyone necessarily to understand your dream. And what I mean is, I don't mean like a dream you at night, you sleep and you have a dream. Okay. No. I have a dream to do this, to be that, whatever the case it is. And there's no interpreter of it. No, there isn't. And there need not be. That's your dream, your desire. What did he say? Do not interpretations belong to God. This is who you give your dream to. Okay. And when I say God, I'm not referring from me. Here, understand. I am not referring to this male God with this particular type of personality. No. Okay. Or the God of this group or that group. No. Okay. The divine, if that's better for you. Okay. All right. Just move on. Okay. But do not interpretations belong to God, who has given you the dream that you have dreamed. And when he's given you the dream that you have dreamed, and you find yourself having the desire, you got this dream, and I desire this, I desire that, I want this, I want that, blah, blah, blah. And you are in alignment with that energy and the divine, okay, God, the divine, okay. Expect that there will be challenges. Things are going to come to challenge you, so that you can grow in that challenge and be able to execute the dream. Okay. In a way that it should be executed, not half-assed or 1/4 assed. Okay. You're the one that's executing it. The dream, the desire, the goal. You isn't been placed in your hands. You have to become proficient so that it can be done in fullness and so that it can be eternal. Okay. All right. Okay. So allow that, and in that, so when the challenging times come and you sitting up there like, well, why the hell did this happen? Did I do something wrong? Now, if you did some shit wrong and you done did some shit wrong and things is topsy-turvy in your life, that's just probably some you reaping what you sow. That's not what I'm talking about here. And you know. It don't matter what you put on the app, the lies that you spew, or the lies that you spew at yourself in the fucking mirror. This shouldn't be happening to me, but you've been hell on wheels. And you've been mistreating people. That ain't this. So this ain't this message here that I'm giving ain't that. So stop now. Stop lying to yourself. Because it doesn't matter the lies that you spew. Okay, confirmation here. Okay. It doesn't matter the lies that you spew on here to others, so on and so forth. When it comes down to that is eternal and truth, it don't make a difference. So that's not what this is. If you one of those, you've been held on with, you done lied about people and things and done caused health people and whatnot, and you going through shit, that's why. If your dream has been to try to steal and copy from others and take their life and their essence and did all type of shit for it to happen and sent them all kind of baneful shit and whatnot, magic and whatnot, and then now your world is topsy-turvy, that ain't got nothing. If that was your dream, that dream wasn't none that belongs to God. That's you. Okay. Your emptiness, empty vessel. That's you. Okay. So that ain't what this is. So stop. For those in that energy, stop. Hold your brakes. Stop your brakes. Turn around and get it together. That's not what this is. Okay. So let's get back. So just know here, okay, for others, that you're going to be challenged here. Challenged to, again, for growth, learning. Your fears, sometimes the dreams that you dream, okay, means that you have to, that you want to execute and make a reality, means that you have to overcome your greatest fears, some of your greatest fears. You're going to be, you're going to be faced. The constant, I want, I feel, I want, whatever the dream is. You can do that for years and years and years. And then here, bam, it is. Or you may have been constantly pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. Challenge after challenge after challenge. Why this happened to me? Why that happened to me? Why? What is the dream that you dream? That only the interpretation belongs to God. You have been in alignment, in alignment here. What is the dream that you dream? The thing that you desire. You want to be challenged. Okay, with the darkness here, the challenge. Now let me find something real quick. I want to be a great speaker, for example. Someone maybe say that, I have this word in me, or I just want to motivate people, and I would love to be able to, be a motivational speaker, just to motivate people and whatnot. But you won't. But you're afraid to get to speak, to open your mouth. Okay. You're going to be, and maybe that thing is in you to do that, to be that great motivational speaker. You can motivate yourself. Okay, and maybe you talk to people here, maybe family members, whatnot, and motivate them. Man, I would love to do that on a grand scale. I just feel a calling for that. But you're scared to get up in front of a group of people to do so. Okay, you're going to be pushed in that direction. Okay, if that's what you're meant to do, if this is the dream that you've been given, the interpretation here belongs to God. The dream belongs to God. You're in alignment with that. This is what you're called to do. And a lot of times, sometimes the dream that you dream, you purposely, it's almost like a setup, almost. Okay, purposely, you will feel fear, wanting to do it, but there's a fear there. Okay, to do it. Why? To push you, to grow you, to groom you to that place, into that space. Hold on, there's something I'm trying to find here in my book. It's like, don't ask the why, in the sense of feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, what I was gonna do, I'm gonna do. Why is this happening? No. What like my dad used to tell me, what am I to learn from this? Is somehow this aligning with this dream that I dream? Not for you to talk to people about it. I mean, you can, but why? And talk to God about it. The God in you. You tell people you don't know who's who. It's very unfortunate. Unless there's like somebody that you can absolutely trust. Oh, here it is. It's right here in my face, and I keep passing by the page. Okay. Is this it? No. I've mentioned Taoism before. Now, when I'm gonna say this real quick. I do a video, whatever, besides, well, even the readings that I do sometimes. And you coming to either try to bother me, to disturb my peace, you want to get in my energy, and you make a comment, you just make sure you watch the whole entire video. So that when you decide to do that, your comment aligns with what I just talked about. If you don't want me to know that you're here to disturb my peace, you're trying to be tricky and all of that type of shit, tricky dicky, and be in my energy and blah, 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 make sure you watch the entire video so that you know what I'm talking about, so that your comment is in alignment with it. Okay. Now, I talked about Taoism the other day, the Tao. I just talked about the Tao here. And it says the Tao is the way. It is referred to as way. What is it? Again, it is the origin of everything. I do not study Taoism. Okay. I used to teach these topics. So I became familiar with them, but I don't practice. Okay. It is the origin of everything. Okay. And all individual things are manifestations of the Tao. It is the origin of everything. It can be experienced here. Okay. So in that, there are several images wherein the Tao is most active and visible, where you can experience it, from which all things originate. What is its 5 things? One of them is what? Darkness. What does it say here? Why darkness? Because darkness can be safe, full of silence and possibility. So when you're in this space here and you have dreamed a dream, and here are the challenges. I'm telling you, when life brings you challenges, don't, for those who can understand and want to grow, don't get in the mode of feeling sorry for yourself. Okay. You will be stuck in that. Now, one thing the lady who raised me used to say to me, I'd be in school and college, and I'd be having a difficult time with something, and I call her, and I may be crying or some shit, and I'm telling her what the fuck is going on, and she would say to me, it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel down, it's okay to feel low, but don't stay there. Because she would explain to me that if you stay there in that down place, it can just get worse and worse and worse and worse. When you're going down further and further and further, and then it's a hard hole to climb out of. So you allow yourself the downtime, down feeling or whatever. You may even feel sorry for yourself. Sometimes that shit feel good. But then at some point, make sure that you find a way to raise up out of that. Now, I'm going to just side note. I'm going to tell you one thing that is good for that, to help you come out of that space. Something happened, it's hurt, it's painful, or maybe you just hormones is doing a certain thing. and you're feeling down and you're feeling blue, you're seeing the other side of that pendulum. You know that pendulum gonna swing both ways. And you're on that place where it's then swung over here to, I don't know, maybe the left or whatever you want to call it, whereas, I'm not saying, well, to the left or whatever, feel kind of dark and glum and blah, 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 or whatever. You're in that space. Somebody done hurt you. Okay, the man or the woman, whatever the case may be. And it hurts. You can feel it physically. Okay? But one thing that helps, so you do not stay in that place, because you do not want to stay in that place. I'm not giving you no time frame. Okay? That's just something she shared with me. And affirmations really, really help. If you pay attention, it helps. It's kind of like the man, what was it, the Chinese guy who did the study with water and found how when they put positive words on the water versus the negative words, and the reaction of the water and whatever the molecules, blah, blah, and we saw that it was a good thing. You understand what I'm saying? Those positive words. And what are we made up of? Majority water. Okay. You want to speak. Allow yourself to speak positive affirmations to yourself. You in the bed and can't get out, you hurt. Okay. Oh. Okay. You hurt. Speak those positive words to yourself. I'm not saying, some people are so goddamn, is the word I'm looking for facetious. That ain't gonna help. I mean, people like that, if that's your energy, then you stay where you are. Don't try. Don't do no work. No one's going to beg you to assist you. Okay. But you speak positive affirmations. It doesn't mean like you're going to magically hop up out the bed and all the problems going to be solved and I was happy now. No. But they're healing. You speak truth to yourself of who and what you are. Like I said at the beginning of my videos, I am wonderful, I am marvelous, I am magnificent, I am splendid, I am perfect, I am thankful, I am grateful, I am loved, I am loved, I am loving, I am lovable, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wise. I am the master and creator of my own fate. I am the master and creator of my own destiny. I am my fate. I am my destiny. I am the all that is, all that ever was and ever shall be. I love myself. And you don't have to speak those, whatever affirmations. Because the more you allow yourself to be beat up with the negative affirmations, especially based on something that someone has done to you, you are in charge of you. You are in charge of you. No one else. Nothing else. You speak those words and you allow the healing to begin, to take place. And you continue to speak those positive words of affirmation to yourself. To stay in yourself and with yourself, not outside of yourself and outside of your truth. So here, when the challenges come, once again, darkness, in the darkness, the challenges, and it feels dark and gloomy and heavy, and I can't believe this is happening, and why did this happen to me, blah, 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 this, that, and other. Darkness can be safe. Here, the safety of the dark. People fear the dark. That's what we taught to. Confirmation. We taught to fear it. Be scared of it. Okay. The boogeyman's in it and all of that kind of stuff. Who is that? Who's the boogeyman? Oh, the demons. So who is they? Even they come to challenge you. All things, the Creator said, okay, the Tao, all things are manifestations of it, of what? The way. The Tao here. All the Tao is the origin of what? Everything. And what again? What is the way? It is the rhythm. It is life. It is the way. Once again, it is the rhythm of nature. What is nature? Everything and everyone. You are nature. I am nature. It ain't just the trees, the grass, the bird. No, everything. Every being, all that exists. Nature, natural. The way, the Tao, from which all things. And okay, so you have that from Taoism. And then here you have the scriptures, the Bible. Where, let me find the scripture. Isaiah 45:7. I'm going to read it. Well, I guess I can just find it here. Yeah. I form the light. This is God speaking from the scriptures. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. How the Lord do all these things. Now, I heard someone talking about, she's absolutely right. Who was it that I was listening to? The words God, Lord, so on and so forth are not the same energies, okay? But just for the purposes of the conversation right now, that's more of another in-depth study. Okay, we're just gonna stay here. Okay, I created all of these things. So even that we, it's just so funny to me. I remember like when I was when I was in seminary, and the secretary of I was at Mason Seminary, which was a part of the Interdenominational Theological Center, and in our seminary, the secretary, me and her, I go in there, we just talk for hours, and she would just say, I don't want to hear nothing about no devil. I don't want to hear nothing about no demons, Satan, and devil. She said the church folks talk more about that than anybody. Okay, and she was like, ain't we supposed to have more power than that, than that energy, the devil, and whatnot. Okay, but yeah. Okay, but she said they're more scared of it than anybody. They're always talking about it, rebuking it all the time, this, that, and the other. Yeah. Oh, and I wish I had those books. There was a pastor that I used to date, and he gave me these books talking about, I can't remember the name of it. I can see the cover. I just can't remember the name of the books. It was a series of books about this whole idea of, sometimes removing energies from a person or from ourselves and whatnot, and the negative effects that it had on people, which is interesting. But anyway. But again, back to what I was saying, the Tao from which all things originate. Okay, God, if you want to look at from that perspective, God, the creator of all things, even the good and the evil. And the darkness here, all this, the fear, the demons, or the daemons, who are even subject to what? Their creator. Please. Who even can and will assist you. I'm not telling you to call on them. Okay. The energy, what does this energy here do? The darkness and the quote unquote light is so interesting to me. Now, when we look at this Tao, the Tao here, from which all things originate again. Everything is a manifestation of it. What does it say? It presents several powerful images where the Tao Te King presents 7 powerful images wherein the Tao seems most active and visible. 5 of them are here. Light is not one of them. Interesting, right? No, it's not. It's the truth. Here, water, woman, child, valley, and what? Darkness. Darkness covered the face of the deep. Okay. They say that, I guess you maybe scientifically, so there's more darkness, literal darkness in the world than light. Okay. Understand and follow. If you're surface level, or you just want to take my words and twist it to try to demean me, you can scurry along. This is not for you. These are for people of thinkers, higher intelligence, not surface, who are still living off of Sunday school messages. Sunday school for the 5-year-olds. The milk and not the meat. Darkness can be safe, full of silence. And when the challenge comes and you have this dream that can only be interpreted by God, as we saw in the scripture, you need silence to understand what is happening. Or that, and to be shown by the God who is the interpreter, the only interpreter of the dream that has been given to you, because you are in that alignment or you have a particular calling. So to hear the voice within, the God within, the greater within, the higher self say, I am leading you to the dream so that you can execute the dream. Silence. Auditory silence. Or darkness. And possibility. Where the dream is in the dark. It has not been brought to the light. You have not done it yet. You haven't executed it yet. You just have the dream. And sometimes you feel like that's safe. Just having it. You feel safe in the dark that you have not brought it to the light. You haven't executed it and brought it to the light yet. You feel safe in that. In the darkness. Okay, now you feel safe. Here's a challenge. So you feel unsafe. So you're not comfortable. I'm taking you here. I'm growing you. I'm grooming you so you can execute this dream that you dream or not. If you choose not to, then hey, it's going to stay there. And you'll be itching and uncomfortable all your fucking life because you know this is something that needed to be done. And then sometimes when you go to do it, when you set out to do it, and you set out to take that first step, there will be something pulling you back because of the fear. Okay. The fear, even in and of itself, is there to assist you. How is it there to assist you? So you look at it and challenge it and say, no, you fight through it. Exactly. And the next level, here's fear again to help you. If these things did not exist, would you really be doing it, executing it in its fullness? And when I say in its fullness, in you being the dream is you. It's not separate from you. The dream is you. You are the dream. You're just, the execution of it is just an extension of yourself. So in the silence here, once again, so that you can hear. Oh, I see. So what I gotta do? This challenge, what I gotta do? Become greater than it. Find other Come out of the box. Explore the branches. Tree, like the trees. Explore the other branches instead of the same old fucking branch that you sit on. Possibility. What's the possibility? The dream here. Okay? That you dream. Full of the silence so that you can hear, once again, the God within you, your being. Okay. You being what? A manifestation of the way. You being nature. Nurturer here. Okay. So you know this is what the challenge is, and this is what I must do. I have to go think broader. I have to go out of, thinking the same way, being the same way. Because if I think the same way and I be the same way, the dream will never come to be. Because if it was, it would have already. Okay. And here again, the darkness, the possibility. This is the challenge. The darkness is the challenge from the Tao, the way, the manifestation. We are the manifestations of the way. Of all things come from it. Okay. All right. Walk in the challenge. Allow the challenge. Don't cry. Don't feel pitiful. Okay, you may cry for a minute, feel pitiful. Then do your affirmations. Speak power to yourself. Who controls your tongue? But you. Who controls your thought process? You can allow other people to control it. You can allow the system to control it. Man-made things and on and or things that are built to keep you oppressed. You can allow all that to control it. Okay. But you be the master of you. And you speak those affirmations to yourself for the healing of self. It's a beginning. And it's a great beginning and something that can be done every single day till you are no more. All right. I hope that made sense here. Okay. That's all I have on that. There's something else I want to share a little bit later. Maybe I'll come back later on. All right. There is someone, I don't know who you are. I don't give a damn what I come on here and say and do. You give me a thumbs up. Whoever you are. It's a male energy. I believe. Okay. Thank you for, it appears as though support. Okay. Thank you. I'm getting a little sick and tired though. My channel by the numbers is very small. This is my second channel with this name. Okay. You all see me talk about this old silly ass woman over here who a few years back and maybe continues to slander me, talk about me terribly. You know this bitch from Adam. Follow me here, etc., etc. And I make my post about her. And I mean what the fuck I say. There's not one post that I've made. I don't care. It may sound kind of raw. I mean, all of it. And all these other people who I made videos about bothering me. Okay. Attempting, I'm hearing, to stalk me and harass me and destroy me and my work. Okay. And the work that I've been giving. These people, I've been doing this shit long before I met some of these people. Long before it was a goddamn YouTube. And I ain't lost no goddamn divinities. When I set out to do tarot, I would want to do tarot readings, like as a full-time gig, long before this shit. And I'm not mean this second channel. I mean before I even thought about a motherfucking YouTube. And finally, I talked about this. It was a lady, a sister on here who does reading. She encouraged me to do it, and I started doing it. Okay, fine. I didn't know the road that it was going to take me down. I didn't know the things that would be revealed to me as a result of doing it. So I'm really thankful here, okay, for it. I truly am. I didn't even really realize when I was putting things together to do readings and whatnot and going public with it and start making pendulums and various things. I didn't know I was doing none of that shit. Or that I was going to be led to do it. The oil that I did a video on it is when I first started my earlier years. But nor did I know that I had people in the background who said they loved me who were sabotaging because for whatever their reasons are. Okay. Now I was on here yesterday doing 2 questions for $20. And nobody came through. Well, one person came through, asked for advice. I'd give you a reading. 2 questions for $20. Then I had someone coming through just trolling me the whole. I think I was on there for about maybe like 45 minutes trolling the whole time. I accused that bitch of it. It may not have been her, but she deserved it anyway because that's her energy. Okay. So, my eyes were open and I saw, okay, I see what was done here. But it also opened my eyes to see what had been occurring in my life ever since I can remember. And when I say ever since I can remember, I mean what the fuck I say. I don't mean since 5 years ago. I mean, I'm 53 years old. Ever since I was a little thing. Ever since I can fucking remember, like about 3-4 years old. Okay? And if I went deep enough, probably before that, I could probably draw up some memories from in the fucking crib, shit. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. I did not start no spiritual journey from doing tarot or getting on YouTube. My life has always been a spiritual journey. Truthfully, we're spiritual beings, they say, having a physical experience. So all of us. Okay. But in terms of, how people say that, no, that didn't start in my adult life. It's been all my life. So I have been trying. There are times when I became, as things are revealed to me more and more and more, understandings are revealed to me more and more and more daily. And I think, I see what they did. Trying to recoup what was lost. Again, I had no plans of starting no great thriving. I didn't even think about the fuck up of about the fact that you could get monetized on YouTube. None of that. I did it because that I want to do tarot. That looks like fun. I want to do that. Okay. I don't agree with this whole thing about that I see people calling people false prophets and all that because they're reading tarot. Where does that equate? It doesn't equate. Doesn't make sense. Especially if a person ain't said there was no goddamn prophet or prophetess and all of that kind of stuff. And then trying to call somebody some kind of goddamn sinner and all of that kind of stuff because they want to destroy them and their work. Now, I can't speak to people who have done things maybe to if they done scam folks, all that kind of shit. I'm not talking about any of that. But I've been reading, I've been studying for years. Some things I don't talk about, I keep to myself, especially because I always had this energy and idea of a lot of things I will talk about one-on-one, but not getting on no damn app. I'm talking about shit to the whole fucking world. Okay. Some things that's, new, knowledge-wise. And some things didn't come from no goddamn book. I just knew the shit. Okay. And I ain't lost shit. Matter of fact, it might be a little bit stronger than it has been in the past. Like I was saying before, I didn't, when I was doing things, making my pendulums and doing readings, I was doing them on Facebook and my oils and all this kind of thing, it was no plan. So I'm going to start this, and I made my oracle cards and have this great thriving business and blah, blah, blah. I wasn't even thinking like that. Okay. This is something I enjoy doing. I like being creative. I'm one of them people, I just love to create a nice environment. I just love to create, whether that be cooking, decorating my home, what I see in my mind's eye and putting things together. I love all of that type of thing. Okay. But one thing I will say, one thing I'm going to express that I wasn't going to, but I'm going to express. If you're going to come over here and watch my videos, you're aware of who I am. Big mouth over there, Brown Jewel Bellamy. She made the whole world know who the fuck I was. If you're going to come over here and watch my videos, whether you're readers or subscribers, whatever the fuck, but ignore me and act like I don't fucking exist and act like you didn't take some things that you didn't know shit about that you heard me say and then make long talking points about it on your videos and on your posts and whatnot. Don't come over here no more. If you can't acknowledge me or share my videos or anything like, do not bring your ass back over. Just fucking unsub from my channel. Unsub. Don't come back. I exist. And despite what anybody may think or want to believe that they know, you know me from fucking Adam. And talking about somebody stole your occultic knowledge and whoever the fuck else. Stay away from my channel. Stay away from me in every way, shape, and form. I don't care who you are. At this point, I don't. I'm so sick of that. It's just pitiful. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know what the problem is. If it's a group, demand a paper, all of that dumb shit, I don't give a fucks. Don't bother me. And when I say don't bother me, I mean that. Don't watch. Don't unsub. And if you ain't subbed, don't fucking sub. Stay the fuck away. Now, the person came through last night when I was trying to do my 2 for 20 for people with all of that bullshit. Okay, whatever. Okay. Maybe this is Nutball Brianna Joy Bellamy. Looks like it is. Confirmation. Probably was her. But even now, you expect trolls. This is what people do. Like even comedians, they stand up and people troll them. What they call them hecklers. That's what they do. Okay. Ha ha he he. Which one we do? Okay, whatever. That doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is to see women. I don't know about the men. You know, it ain't as many men tarot readers as it is women. Okay. Sit up there and watch your shit. You done talked about something and you go listen to one day videos, maybe because you like their shit. There's some people I like, and then I hear some of the same exact words I said. You know that wasn't no thought that came from you. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that to an extent. But what is wrong with it is that you can't even acknowledge. I heard this. I've said this before. Heard this person, but I'm just so done. I'm just so sick of that shit. I really don't have no words, and I don't want to say anything debasing and condescending about it. But you can't share a video that I make or anything. If you are subbed to my channel, now I have 1,165 subs last time, according to YouTube, and according to what they put in my studio app, what they want me to, what they want to say that I got. I have community posts. If you can't like it, thumbs up my shit, my work, then unsub. Ain't no way hell I got 1,106 some subs. And I don't get no thumbs up on my community posts. Then leave. Unsub. If you don't sit up there and listen to that bitch over there, Brianna Joy Bellamy, all her lies that she spewed about me. And I am going to touch on this thing about this bitch telling somebody I did some fraud, a wire fraud, or whatever the fuck else she said fraud. Bitch, oh my. I don't even have words. And you can't figure out, well, I don't know, maybe she was, and you can't figure out that the bitch is lying and the bitch is crazy as fuck. But you over here just to see, leave. I don't want you here. I don't want your energy here. I'm not talking about, okay, well, last week they said I had 108 views and I was on my way up. Now they put me back down to 50 and 23. Okay, whatever. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, those numbers would be about right in terms of what they say, in terms of, numbers of subs you have and the amount of views you get. That kind of fares out correctly. Okay. Shadow bat, blah, 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 whatever. I'm talking about if you subbed over here and you see my shit and you can't hit a thumbs up, then you part of the groups of the people that want to try to attack and slander. Have I not made it clear? Leave. There's nothing that you all gonna do or can do. You've been trying it for years. That's gonna make me come up out of myself. Nothing. And bitch, Brianna Joy Bellamy, if you subbed under one of your fake, bitch, all your 10 accounts, fake accounts that subbed over here, unsub all of them. Okay. If you can't say, if I do something nice for you, say something nice to you, and you can't say thank you, unsub from my shit. Now, I am a type of person, I love to have fun. I love to laugh. I love a good time. Anybody that knows me for real and not lying, they know Nikki like to have fun. She's silly. She likes laughs. But I am serious. I am a serious person about things that are important. Bitch, go. You can't acknowledge me. Go find somebody else to copy off of who gonna say something that you would have never thought of in a million fucking years because you ain't cracked open nobody's goddamn book or gone within the book of yourself. Okay. Now, I really say that, but you can't control what a person gonna do and what they're not gonna do. But I'm just putting it out here. You are not welcome here. My readings, you're not gonna hear sometimes the general stuff that you hear with the readers. I do pick that up. I don't do no fake ass readings. Each and every time I sit down to do a reading for YouTube or anybody else who comes to me for one, I don't do no fake shit and no pretend shit. That's what everybody else talking about. So that's what I'm doing. I don't do that. If that comes up, fine. If you watch my readings, you can see I don't do that. If that's what you like, then that's where you stay. But don't come over here. For those who do give me thumbs up, thank you. It is noted. And I do appreciate you. Whoever this one person is, I swear every time I get on this motherfucker. Okay, whoever you are. Okay, thank you. Okay, I don't even fuck what I come on do is always, soon as I guess they catch me good, they hit that thumbs up. Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay. But other than that, I'm not, I just, it's just so just like ridiculous. Just leave. Okay. Leave. My readings, my talking points here. This is a growth thing for me. I can sit there and talk to somebody. Now, my lady who raised me used to just be like, sometimes I just be talking to her, and she just say, that's just too deep for me, Nikki. Because my mind, the way my mind works, I can get really in depth. It's just how I am. And this is not things that I wanted to do on this app, but I feel as though I'm being pushed and stretched to doing so, and I'm going to. So it's not going to just be readings on here. Okay. Hell, sometimes I might just get on here and just talk. Okay. Sometimes I'll open the chat. Sometimes I will not open the chat, depending on how I feel and depending on what I'm led to do. Okay. But my shit is for people who are thinkers, who think, who don't mind going into the deep depths, and not for a silly ass reading and pretending that they know something or have knowledge that they don't. Not that you can't get it or whatever. I'm just saying. Okay. Now, if you're a reader, you like my stuff or whatever, you can say something. I don't give a fuck what Bree said or anybody fucking else on this motherfucker. I know who I am and I know what I've done. These people don't know me for shit. They made up lies and all of that type of shit. Confirmation. Okay. I said it, and I'm gonna say it again. I don't give a fuck how many subs I have on this motherfucker. I like people. I like them index cards. I know some people people talk about them. I don't see the difference. What's the difference in people using index cards? I'm not saying and people using index cards. Hold on, please. And stuff like those oracle decks, like What's the Tea, like I've been using, or I think the Twin Flame. It's just like, well, they just have the message on the index card, and whoever did these decks just had them made up on. This is stuff that they thought up, and they just haven't had had them made up on cards. What's the difference? You know, sometimes depending on the kind of reading you want to do, I feel like it can aid your tarot reading. And I personally feel like if that's what you want to do, you just read from the index cards. I don't think anything is wrong with that. And I'm not putting down anybody who does think something is wrong with it. I'm just expressing my opinion. But I see some of them index cards. I'll be watching some readers with them index cards. I'm like, wow, how'd they get all them messages? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it again. If there's a reader out there who you have those, I will pay you for a copy of them, okay, and get them laminated and acknowledge that they're from you, okay. If you don't want me to acknowledge that they're from you, I won't. Now I'm gonna put up a new email here because I don't know what's up with my email. Okay. But anyway, that's the end of that. Okay. But I mean what I say, leave. Unsub from my channel. Anybody from my past, if you have it in your mind in any way, shape, or form, that you think that I'm going to come back into that energy with any of you all, you're mistaken. It will never be. Well, you know, they say never say never. It will not be. So you can keep your comments and all of that kind of thing. All right. That's all I have for now. I'll be back later. Something else I want to talk about a little bit later on. You all have favor. Peace.